Hello my friends, 𝗂𝗶𝘁𝗵 here. Today's video by request is going to be all about Isogen. Hello my friends.
Live long and prosper.
Okay, we're going to try to cover everything Isogen related in this one video if we can do it. If I miss anything, I'm sure that the comments section always very helpful. They'll be able to help fill in any gaps. So if you get any questions after you've watched this video in its entirety, be sure to ask it below and we'll get you taken care of. So Isogen, you cannot participate in the territory control mechanic without this. It comes in 3 different grades, which are indicated by usually the star icon, but in this case you've got this funky looking diamond. It's like a white diamond with the black little diamond cut out on it. You've got grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3. So first up, let's cover that grade 1 raw Isogen. There's a couple places that you can find the grade 1 star, whatever you want to call it, Isogen. A good place to find it as a rule will be in your purple, which is the rogue space. Any of these that are not gated behind a token of some kind have your grade 1. If you see here, we've got these icons all over. Grade 1 Isogen can be mined in any of these systems. So here we'll click on a node and it is 1, whatever you want to call this symbol, we can still call it grade 1 raw Isogen. That's not the only place to find that grade 1 Isogen though. You can also find it if you go way over here to your southwest on the map. There's this strange little triangle. You got these 3 level 25 systems here. Those are 𝗂𝗵𝘁𝗵𝘁 and 𝘂𝗶𝘁. The interesting thing about these is that they are technically in neutral space. They're not a deep space mechanic, so you can actually go view the system from anywhere. See if you can catch somebody mining this grade 1 Isogen, hit them over protected like you would anywhere else. Now the last place that you'll be able to find grade 1 Isogen, you won't be able to do this to start, but once your alliance has occupied some territory, your tier 1 territories will pretty much always, not always, but pretty much always have the ability to mine some grade 1 Isogen as well. So if you notice here in the same territory, we also have the system that has grade 2. See this 2 next to it? This is your 2-star or grade 2 Isogen. The only place that you can find this is within territory / origin space. You have to own the territory in order to mine on it. Once you've taken a territory that has your grade 2 nodes, that's where you'll start getting grade 2. Same thing for your grade 3. Once you've taken a tier 2 territory, it should have the ability to mine grade 3 Isogen. As the only places you can get grade 2 and grade 3 Isogen is from your own territory space, so keep that in mind. Okay, let me stop myself right there real quick and correct. You can, of course, go to other alliances' territories and hunt their overprotected cargo miners to get grade 2 and grade 3 Isogen that way as well. So while we're discussing where to find your Isogen nodes, we would be remiss not to mention your best Isogen miner in the game right now, which is the new Meridian that just came out. It is definitely an active miner, which means it has a very small protected cargo capacity. If you'll see here, my total cargo capacity right now is 112,000, protected less than 2,000, and it mines extremely quickly. You're going to want to stick 𝘂𝗵𝘁𝗵 as your captain. Maykonen is going to be great to toss on the bridge, and if you have 10 of 10, you're going to want to put them in there as well. I don't have them, but that would be your go-to for your Isogen mining crew. Now, unfortunately, raw Isogen, just like every other raw material in the game, is completely useless to you. What you've got to do is, starting at operations 25 and then scaling as a result of your ops level in your materials tab in your refinery, you'll want to go to territory. This is where you'll refine that raw into the refined version. You'll also get some Iso-Emulsion from your 1-star grade 1 Isogen refining. From your grade 2 and grade 3, however, you'll get not just the refined counterpart of what the raw that you fed into it is. You'll get more Iso-Emulsion, of course, but you also get this shiny progenitor alloy. Progenitor alloy is fantastic. You redeem that for these chests of either the emitters, diodes, cores, or reactors here in the same refinery tab. Now, which of these 4 you're going to want to try to prioritize is really going to come down to your alliance leadership, what they are pushing for. If you haven't taken your tier 2 and tier 3 territories yet, what you're going to want to do is push for these progenitor cores most likely. That's what you're going to use to initiate takeovers. After you've gotten all the territory that you're after, or if you're not interested in going for more territory for some reason, your tier 2 and tier 3 territory services are going to require that you have emitters, diodes, and reactors, but they're not all created equal. So it's really going to come down to your alliance leadership giving you some sort of guidance on which of these you need to be pushing for and in what quantity. Hey, if you liked the video, do me a quick favor, set that phaser on stun, target the like button, and fire! So of the items that you get from your refinery, from turning your raw Isogen into the refined version, you get the Iso-Emulsion that we spoke about, you get the progenitor alloy. The things that you redeem the progenitor alloy for, however, do not actually end up in your own inventory. If you look here, I don't have any of that in my inventory. That will actually go into this something like a pool for your whole alliance that your commodores and admirals can actually use. If you check this territory tab here and go to inventory, you can see how much of it you've saved up as an entire alliance. If you did leave your alliance after you traded out for some of this, there's some weird 𝘂𝗶𝘁𝗵 math. They have some way to tag that to you. So if you join your new alliance, that will follow you. What you do get to keep, however, when you refine is that Iso-Emulsion. It can be used on its own in the research tree, which we'll show in a minute. There is also a place in your refinery tab. Again, go to territory, scroll to the very end, and you'll see this Iso-Emulsion to Iso-resin. Now this is pretty fantastic because you can actually turn that Iso-Emulsion into an Iso-resin. You want to balance that to some degree because you need both of them in your research tree. However, what's really awesome here is that you can do this once a day on the 22-hour cooldown and get some of these particles that you may not have access to outside of your own alliance territories. Now, in order to purchase the particles that your territories can offer you, you'll have to activate those services. As we've talked about previously, your diodes, emitters, reactors will help you activate those services. To buy them, however, you'll want to go to your store. However you want to get to your store, you can go to the sale. You can go up here in the top corner. You want to go to your territory tab, and you'll see here whatever your alliance has activated as far as services goes, you'll be able to buy them here. They're a lot cheaper. The cost is really pretty minimal. It's like 5 Iso-Emulsion right now to maybe 100 of these particles. I'm not entirely sure what that scales off of, but you're definitely going to be able to pick up way more particles for the services that you've enabled in your own territory. Now, what you do with those particles and what you do with that Iso-resin is going to be in your R&D. You're going to go to your research. There is your territory tree over here. And a lot of the things that are in your territory tree, especially these tracks that you can get on, will require Iso-resin or quantum particles, for instance, at this top path, phantom particles in the middle path. It really just depends on which one you're going for. And then, of course, there are plenty of things that will require just that straight Iso-Emulsion. That's where you may want to balance some. Really, I go completely, you get the Iso-Emulsion, and I'll go do my chest, and usually I'll just do the 2 chests, not the 3 chests, because it's not 1-to-1 as far as the ratio goes for the cost. I'll just do the 2 chests every single day. You may want to push differently. Just make sure that you're doing what's best for you. One final thing to note is that in your refinery, under the territory tab way over here at the end with the Iso-Emulsion to Iso-resin, that is now going to scale based off of the tier of your meridian on how many particles you get and how much of that Iso-Emulsion it's going to cost. Right now I have mine at rank 2. It hasn't changed drastically. I don't know what the scale is, but keep that in mind. That's really about all there is to Isogen, Iso-resin, Iso-Emulsion, your particles, etc. Just got to get out there and mine it. I tried to go and mine as much as I possibly can out there in territory space for maybe a couple weeks at a time, because I just really hate to go out there. It's so disruptive to go all the way out to my territory space and move my base and sit there and just mine and try to get my ships out to everything else. Kind of stinks, so I just try to load up on it. So maybe that's a good way for you to go ahead and do it on your own. Regardless, thank you for watching. Live long and prosper. Hope this helped you. We'll see you next time.